Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining another episode of Let's Have a Conversation. I am your host, Elizabeth Fortner, and I am the Marketing and Outreach Specialist for the ECYEH program here in Region 3. This episode is a special one because this year marks a milestone, 10 years of Pennsylvania's ECYEH Homeless Awareness Week. 10 years. Wow. And with me, I have our Region 3 team, Sonia and Missy, who are going to share the background of Homeless Awareness Week and how it all started, but most importantly, the why. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Sonia and Missy. Good morning, ladies.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Great. So we have the brains behind Awareness Week and how it all became. And so, Sonia, I'd really like for you to talk and share with everyone how you came up with Awareness Week and the Red Shirt Day.
Well, it really truly started with a conversation. It started with a conversation with Sarah, who is our Capitol guru. She works at the Capitol, and at the time, she worked in a different position than she works now with representatives and state senators. And I had met Sarah years prior to that at a presentation I did to a women's group. Sarah is the type of person that when you talk about stuff, she really is so passionate and she just wants to help you raise the bar and help really push things that she's passionate about. And she really was talking to me about, well, Sonia, what would you like there to be if you could have anything besides money to help, elevate this program and elevate people knowing about McKinney-Vento and identifying, et cetera, what would you do? And I'm like, an awareness week sounds really cool. And she's like, oh, easy peasy. Well, easy peasy to Sarah is not easy peasy to me. And it really just started with that conversation and then went from, okay, let's see what that looks like. What does that look like this year? And it's already September, I think, or maybe August that we've just thought about this. And how can we get it to start? So she said, well, let's have a Capitol press event. Okay, don't know what that looks like, but sure, she knows what that looks like. So she took care of that. All I had to do was show up and, do this press event. I did create a video for that to talk about homelessness and that we were doing an awareness week. And the reason that this specific awareness week came about, so it became known as the education for students experiencing homelessness awareness week, which is also a word which is also just a lot of words. But with November being homeless awareness month, we wanted to really focus on the educational piece of awareness for these students. Everyone can talk about food, clothing, and shelter. That's easy. Everyone does clothing drives, food drives. It would be awesome if we could have housing drives. That just doesn't happen, obviously. But we can all take care of the three top basics and talk about the three top basics of food, clothing, and shelter. What they don't talk about is the educational piece and how important education is for a student. So that was why we wanted to have a specific awareness week for students experiencing homelessness because we wanted to focus on education. Red Shirt Day came about because our friend from Region 6, I think, Andrea, is that Region 6? Yep. Yeah, so from Andrea from Region 6 in the spring had done an awareness day, just a visual day, and she had Blue Shirt Day. And so they had Blue Shirt Day and kids wore blue shirts and they, at that particular school, they make blankets where they just, those tie blankets that you can do, no-sew blankets. So it was a really great activity. So from that, I was like, oh, I think having a shirt day would be great. Red's my favorite color. So I was like, well, let's make it Red Shirt Day. So that's how it became Red Shirt Day. And it became Red Shirt Day for visual impact on the Friday of Awareness Week. The visual impact was important because while we can talk about this, the students and families that we want to show that we care about them and that we are doing this for them and that we want to continue to have these conversations for them, we wanted to have a way for the students to see what we were doing. The first year that we did this, I do outreaches to unaccompanied teenagers, and they're just like, Sonny, no one's going to care about this. Like, yeah, it's just one more day. You're going to put it on your social. You have like 200 followers. Woohoo. You don't even know how to use your socials, all of this stuff. And they weren't wrong. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make sure that we have some visual of some sort. Even if it's just a few people, I'm going to really just spread the word about this. And while it was the first year, we still had a lot of red shirts on that Friday. And when I went around to the schools or the students that were experiencing homelessness and the families, and they saw that visual impact, they felt really heard that day. They felt like, okay, today you actually did have conversations about me. Today you actually had people that were willing to wear red and know why they wore red because you asked them to wear red. And at the time, we didn't have the hashtag. At the time we did.
I love it. The hashtag.
Yeah, let's edit that part out. At the time, the first year, I didn't really know anything about hashtags or, any social stuff. And we didn't have the hashtag I will be your voice. That came second, third year. And so we had Red Shirt Day as a hashtag. And I think ECYEH awareness might've been part of the hashtag. And so then for the students to know that people had to actually put those hashtags on that picture, it wasn't just someone taking a picture of a red shirt. It was, here's why I'm wearing a red shirt. So that's where that came about. So that's the beginning of what the education for students experiencing homelessness awareness week is.
Awesome. And the hashtag I will be your voice. What inspired you to want that to be your hashtag?
That came about because I get a lot of calls from reporters who want to do a story, which is phenomenal. And then they always ask me to give them names of a student or family willing to talk to them. I completely understand and appreciate that they would be gentle with them and be very, would try to, treat them with care and respect, etc. I just was not going to put those students in front of a camera during their trauma without being able to have necessarily the language to express what they were going through. But I felt like their stories needed to be heard. They needed to have a voice. And I thought, you know what? I can be that voice. And so the year that started, and like I said, I want to say maybe the third year it started. I can't remember exactly. My Facebook memories popped up. And I get into a begging phase with Awareness Week, probably starting in September. So everybody who is friends with me on Facebook, our colleagues and my friends and family, they all start hearing me talk about, can you do this? All of you say that I would do anything for you, Sonia, anything to help you. What can I do? And I'm like, well, here's what you can do. And I had people say, some people read stories that actual children going through their experience wrote, or they were interviewed and put on paper. And I had people read those stories. And some of those stories are on our YouTube page. We do have an ECYEH YouTube page. So some of those are on there. And I also had people just send in a real simple video clip to take 30 seconds out of their time where they put their phone to their face and just said, I'm Sonia Pitsy. I am raising awareness for students experiencing homelessness. I will be your voice. Or I have people, I'm so and so, live in Massachusetts, I will be your voice. And it came from all over the place, not just Pennsylvania, again, because this is a federal law. So we had other people from all over the country who were doing this. And those videos, the I will be your voice clips, were really another great visual that we were able to post throughout leading up into it. And having the stories just really was very helpful. And from there, that stemmed a play. Do you want to know about that too?
Yeah.
So the play, I Will Be Your Voice, stories of hope and homelessness.
I think that's what it is.
I'm gonna say that again so I stumble. The play is a series of monologues called I Will Be Your Voice, Stories of Hope and Homelessness. And it was written by my friend Chris Kapp. And they are stories that are real stories that either Chris experienced with her clients or I experienced. A couple of the stories are word for word written by the teenagers that I had worked with. And again, some of the younger ones were from interviews. And she just created it into a play, a monologue play. And that play is also on our YouTube page. We had the play, was it 2020? No, 2019. It had to have been 2019. So in 2019's, I had to think about it. So the play premiered in Boiling Springs at a church with actors, and they each read a monologue.
Child actors.
Child actors, age appropriate actors,
Right.
with a narrator in between. And that premiered in 2019, and we had pretty good attendance at the church. And then following that, we had what Chris called the talk back. That's stage speak. Chris is from the theater world, so she knows about that stuff. And we had what we called a talk back, which is basically a Q&A. So the audience members could ask us questions and we could respond, ways to help. What does this really mean? Did these stories really occur? Do we really have students who are 8 who don't have family members who want them? How bad is domestic violence? What about drugs and alcohol? What about affordable housing? Things like that. And it just continued to evolve from there. In 2020, we were not able to have in-person presentations or anything like that. So we did a virtual event, and that's what the video is on our YouTube page, where the actors, the age appropriate actors, again did the monologues. We recorded that. I narrated at that time, and then we had speakers at the end of the play that spoke with that. So it really evolved into this thing that is really been a cool thing, because the students are able to go back into our YouTube page. They can go back and to see all those plays, and they can go back and say, that's my story too. I can't believe that other people are in that, and I can't believe a play was written about it. And Chris has this play, and others have been able to put it on. You can call up Chris or contact Chris to get that information for schools to put on it for plays. It's just a really great way to really put it out there in such a way that everyone understands, but also it's age appropriate for students to hear.
I think that's pretty cool. I would love to see if we can perhaps do that again.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be great if we could. Yeah, I mean, we definitely could do it again. It's just a matter of what it's going to look like.
Correct. And so you mentioned that this all stemmed from simply having a conversation. And now I know for this year, a new hashtag that we are using is also the name of this podcast, Let's Have a Conversation. Now, I love that hashtag. I think that's something that we are all just simply doing, is having a conversation when we talk about students experiencing homelessness. But why that specific hashtag?
That came about from a group lunch at the beginning of the summer.
I think so, yeah. We started talking about it. Yeah, we tried to start talking about it early. I think we started over the summer. Probably
Yes.
came out over our breakfast that we had our breakfast meeting.
Yes, we had a breakfast meeting, and it consisted of liaisons that I had big ideas. It's the 10-year anniversary. How do we make this more impactful? So Miss, you can talk about the lunch or the breakfast.
Tell me
Okay.
about this breakfast I wasn't at.
Ah, so a group of us got together and just were brainstorming. You know, like what, how can we, it's the 10-year anniversary, how can we get, awareness out there? Um, so it was seeing in it was helpful having the liaisons be part of it because they are out also trying to get the awareness out within their own school districts. So it was interesting just sitting there having the conversation. Then I can't even remember, I think someone just said, hey, let's have a conversation, and it just went from there. Like, there's the hashtag. This is what, our 10th year is going to be, is let's have a conversation. And I think it just, multiplied from that whole conversation into like, how can we make awareness about let's have a conversation? Like, who can we um, pinpoint to do, like anybody, like a school bus driver, who sees a child coming on the bus and recognizes, that there's a car that's dropping them off, and them saying, hey, let's have a conversation, let's have a conversation with the school district, the liaison of that school, so that they're aware that there could be this child who's, in the is facing homelessness and still once doesn't want people to know, which is a big, we all know that when it comes to this population, a lot of times they want to stay hidden. They don't want people to know about them. So everybody being aware of what to look for, signs, things like that. It's so important to get that out. So that's why it's important. I think we just ran with it. Let's have a conversation, because the importance of talking about it, getting the word out, just communicating with one another, I think was probably the biggest gist of everything, from that lunch breakfast. I think we had a couple different meetings, um, but went from there.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that I say it a lot. I say, well, we have to have a conversation about that, or well, that's something we have to have a conversation about. And I think that I said that a couple of times, and one of the liaisons like, that's the hashtag, that's the theme. And if you think about it, the fact that we are 10 years later still talking about this, but still having people going, wait, we have homeless. What? 1 in 30 children are identified as homeless in the United States. What are you talking about? How is this even a thing? So it all has to come back to having a conversation. This topic, and I say this all the time, it's not a sexy topic. People don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it and believe that it's in their community. And when you have affluent communities, affluent school districts, they're just like, no, that doesn't happen here. Or if it is, it's just 1 or 2 kids, or that's a city problem, or that's this problem. And it's all over. Our region has urban, suburban, and rural populations. And our numbers show that, we definitely have them all over the map. So the let's have a conversation just made sense. And when someone said, yeah, that's the theme, one of the liaisons said it, we're like, yeah, duh. Why are we making this hard? And I really think it's a great addition to I Will Be Your Voice, because we're going to be their voice, but we're going to continue the conversation. So I think it's a hashtag that's going to continue to live on. And like you said, Liz, this is the name of our podcast now, because we just want to have conversations about this. The more you talk about it, the more you're aware.
Absolutely. And now, how did you get school districts to get involved with this awareness week and participating in Red Shirt Day? Because I've seen it. I've seen multiple pictures of previous years, and it seems like it's just everyone is being a part of it. You have the newscast is highlighting it. The Capitol is shining red. I mean, it's quite impressive.
Anything related to the Capitol is all Sarah. That's all Sarah. I need to absolutely, highlight that. Representative Donna Bullock has led the last 9 resolutions. The first year she signed on to be part of the resolution, and she was at our press conference, etc. She just wasn't the lead of that particular charge, but from the second year till now, she's always been the champion of this, to lead this in conversations and invite other representatives to be part of the press event. And also because she's now chair of the Children and Youth Committee, she really cares about this topic. She cares about these students who are experiencing homelessness, and she wants to find solutions. It's not just a talking point. So when you have someone like Sarah who can contact someone to light the Capitol red, that's not me. That's just knowing a person who's able to do that. I mean, like, yeah, again, in Sarah's words, easy peasy. Then you have someone like Representative Donna Bullock, who then goes to her peers and says, here's the resolution that we want to write. Here it is. Do you want to sign in and support this bill? And then they'll vote on it on the floor. So all the capital stuff, that's all, that's just me being invited to participate, and, and saying, yeah, I would love to have a capital event, and have that happen. For the school districts, agencies, and all of that, that's just me begging. What it comes down to.
But it's not begging anymore. I think it started out initially
I feel like now they're more receptive to doing it.
Yes. I think people within our region, we really value our connections that we have made with our liaisons. And I think through that, and through this process of every year doing this awareness week, more and more of them are just like, hey, we need to participate in this. We need to get our school district involved in this conversation. And I think it's just grown from that. It did. I mean, I can remember, I think when I first started in, almost 7 years ago now in the program, we were like pulling teeth, to try and get a group together to help us, put this together, because it was just way over our abilities to, to do it ourselves. We wanted, the community and everybody else to help with the process, because we think, it's important not just coming from us, it's important coming from the community at large. Needs to be, also have their voice and things like that being said. But I think that, and just the buy-in, don't like using that term, but I think the buy-in that many of the liaisons then, they're on it. I mean, we've got several of them that they take this week, and they put stuff out to the rest of their school district, like, here, did you know this, and this and that. So, we've really expanded that. We talk about it, every one of our regional meetings up until that point. And even, throughout the year, it's kind of like, even though here's what you can do, here's what other districts did, I think that's just, and then them working together, so we, part of our process is having our liaisons working together with each other and learning from one another, and, growing, I keep saying, I know, but sorry.
Oh, I love the giggle.
But them growing, you know what I mean? And them working together, like, this county school district's working with this whole other county school district, and them coming together and working as a team, you know what I mean? It's just that we've really, I think, built upon collaborating and partnershiping together with even people outside of their own county, their own area. Just that, because it's important, you're all there for the same reason. You're all there for these students, these kids, these, the families. And so.
Yeah, I think it's very impressive how many school districts are involved in getting students and faculty to wear red and posting it. And
yeah, and they've taken it themselves too. Like, they've run with it with their districts, because a lot of them will do it. They'll get the permission to do, like, they have to donate $5 to wear red, like wear a t-shirt or something. So they're also doing that they're setting it aside in their own district, that here they have this pot of money that can be utilized then to assist these families, these kiddos and things. Then also, so.
It's one of those where, and Missy was part of this right from the get-go as a community agency partnership. So she saw the struggle of the begging and the, being part of committees and being like, please just, can you wear red, or can you just do this? And being part of that, those beginning conversations of how it needs to look. And she has seen how it's evolved. And if this has been, I think, the best representation of when I always use my favorite saying of be the starting ripple. 10 years ago was the starting ripple of this students experiencing education for students experiencing homelessness awareness month. From 10 years ago to now, to see how many participants there are across the state has been awesome. And then to see how many people across the nation do red shirt pictures, the I will be your voice video clips, has been great. It has just really increased that ripple into those waves of success. And I can't say enough of how, again, to reiterate what Missy said, we foster those connections to make the foundation for our regional folks to connect, because we do not have the capacity to be able to serve over 3,000 students in our region. The state, we have 8 regional coordinators. These 8 regional coordinators do not have the capacity for themselves to be able to work specifically with 40,000 students. We need to have these school districts on board to know about the McKinney-Vento Act and to then be able to use this time to raise awareness is a great way for them to be able to do it. The $5 dress down day, have that discretionary fund. People have found that to be so helpful because they can use gift cards. It's a discretionary fund, so they don't have to have anything. They don't have to follow rules with it. It's discretionary. They just have to have the receipts or whatever that is. So yeah, so it started out as begging. It continues to be begging, but a lot more of it is that people have just said, yeah, Sonia, we're going to totally do this. And yeah, Pennsylvania, we're going to absolutely do this. So.
And we started planning, I think, a little bit earlier each year than we have in the past.
Well, planning sometimes is we start having a conversation sooner. So
Right.
we certainly started the beginning of the summer. Nothing happened with it until August, which is typically what happens. Let's be honest. And then when you have things starting typically in August, things still don't look like what you want it to look like. But sometimes that's
Right.
life. I mean, and I think that's something that our students and families, they like to see the realness that we struggle with too. This isn't what the 10-year anniversary is what I envisioned it to be, but I still think it's an awesome 10-year anniversary because we also are going to be at the sharing a press event with the National Network for Youth People. And I think that's great. Anytime we can continue those conversations and build awareness around our children, the better. And it doesn't matter. There's no proprietary ego with this. It is just let us do awareness for the education specific about homelessness. Let's be a voice and let's have that conversation.
And now those videos you were talking about with Let's Have a Conversation. Now, for anyone listening, how can we get more individuals to have that conversation and just to get more people involved in this topic that can be uncomfortable for some people to talk about? So I like these videos that we've been doing, and we've been getting the liaisons to send us some videos and some other staff coming up with these scenarios. But how can we get that out there even more as far as opening up that conversation to talk about this?
I think with the video clips, showing the video clips is a great conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
So like how students would have a story prompt or an essay prompt written on the board that they would have to then write a story about, right? We would use those video clips as a way to prompt people to have conversations. So that's the intentionality behind the clips, is a teacher saying, this is my experience, or someone who worked at a church saying, this is, let's have a conversation about this. Going from there, I think this is the starting ripple for this particular piece of continued awareness. So I envision that these clips or these conversations would be something that we continue to build upon after this year. Homelessness isn't just a week in November that we talk about and highlight. That just becomes the big thing. Homelessness isn't just around the holidays where people want to donate gifts to students or adopt a family or do something. Homelessness is year round. So we need to be able to throw out those clips, throw out those video conversations. This podcast is monthly so that people can hear about the conversations about this and foster care. But and just continue to build on that. How can we do this? I don't know. If I knew, we would have a huge, humongous party, 10-year anniversary fireworks, all these really cool things that we envisioned and talked about at the beginning of the summer would be able to happen. But it just isn't able to happen because, again, we're talking about real life educators, real life people, community business partners, real life families who want to donate and donate time as well as material to the cause, but organization of that takes a lot, and our capacity is just so. The crisis of where we're at with working with our students and families who are experiencing homelessness and making sure they go to school is at such a peak that it's hard to do those extras. Yeah. But I think those extras, such as having conversations, I mean, it's not like we're saying extras like, oh, hey, let's have a pizza party
or a flash mob.
Right. Oh, I would love for 10
one of these years we will make that happen. Let's
10
hope.
years I've been trying to have a flash mob. 10 years. I couldn't even get a Tic Tac going last year. I tried so hard to get that Tic Tac going. I mean, I recorded it. I sent what I thought were good.
Like a clock.
Yeah. So I sent tutorials. I showed it at the statewide conference. Like, hey, this I didn't. People who know far more than I do, I thought it would be easy to do. Like, Liz, you did it, and you did your little clip, and I needed someone else to help me with the transition of going from whatever. And I was chucking t-shirts at Missy for good 20 times before we got her on thing, and I don't even know if we got the Tic Tac the right thing. But so I don't know how to make things viral. I don't know how to continue. I remember the one year, and I remember this because it's on Facebook memory, but that memory, do you remember that stupid conversation about, is this a blue shirt? Is this a yellow shirt? Or
what color
dress.
do you see?
Dress.
Yeah, like do you see blue or do you see green?
I was that was the year that we did the one and only year that we did winter awareness. And I went out and I had my, hat, because it was actually a cold winter that year, and go out with a sweater. And I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my red sweater, and it was like, brown. I'm like, and saying, if we can make something as, I'm sorry, dumb and inconsequential as what color do you see on this shirt or dress, then why can't we have a conversation about a student who needs our help? Why can't we have something go viral? And it doesn't, the TikTok thing I thought was fun. It was, I wasn't trying to be a Debbie Downer and being like, oh, hey, let's do this. It was, you got to do the TikTok stuff that people do. I don't know how to do dances on the TikTok, so we didn't do that. But the one year when we did the winter awareness, we banked minutes. People did blankets. And every picture that had a student or a person, any person with a blanket that they posted the Facebook page, was a minute that I had to sleep outside. And I slept outside. And there's a video of that on our ECYEH Facebook page that shows of me sleeping outside. and Mechanicsburg Area School District actually won the competition, so to speak, of how many folks from their school district that represented and wanting to help spread awareness. And Paul Bingham at the time was the liaison, and he slept up on the roof for a time. And we had a dunk tank that we brought into the middle school. So it can be fun
Right.
to talk about, but yet it hasn't caught on. It's caught on to a lot of degrees, but I don't know how to make, your question seems such a simple question, and I want to know the answer.
Right.
But if I
it's
can't,
something we have to have a conversation about continuously.
right. But and I feel like I get, and this is real. This is a real frustration that I thought the tic-tac thing would be easy. Clearly I was wrong.
Well, it's constantly we're evolving all of these apps, fancy things that these kids are downloading nowadays, making me feel old. But honestly, I think you should be very, very proud of how it has evolved from 10 years ago to where we are now. I think it's,
and that's not just me. I mean, I may have started it, but that is so many people, as Missy said, the liaisons who have taken into their school districts, a liaison that's going to be talking to their board meeting the day before Red Shirt Day on November 16th. She's going to be talking to her board. The fact that we have the first year we had a liaison who had their student body wear red and took pictures and all of that. I mean, that's I may have had the idea, but I don't, like I said, there's no proprietary ego with this. It is for all of us to do. I beg probably the loudest on my personal Facebook page, but and we're willing to do the red shirt videos to put it out there because it's just something we've done. But people share it. The more that things get shared, the better. So that's why the red shirt video. That's why this podcast. Share it. And again, open conversations. The frustration of the things, the positivity of the things, all of this stuff. So it's just it really does take a group of us for everybody to do it, just to continue to have that conversation so that we can be their voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And this year, I just want to let everyone know who are listening that the ECYEH Homeless Awareness Week is from November 13th to November 17th this year. And on Friday, November 17th, we are encouraging everyone to wear red. Be sure to hashtag one of the three following, or all three if you wish. You can hashtag Red Shirt Day 2023. You can hashtag Let's Have a Conversation, and hashtag I Will Be Your Voice. Now, is there anything else that you'd like to share with everyone about this specific week and month? And like the Capitol event, for instance, we did have that, which is November 15th from 9 to 10, which is open to the public. And that is located at the Capitol here in Harrisburg. And where are they supposed to go into? It's the rotunda?
It's a conference room off the main rotunda.
Okay.
And if you give me a second where you're going to have to edit, I can tell you the specifics because it's in the specifics. We should give that.
That's all right. I don't need to edit. It's a nice little conversation we're having.
So the meeting will be held in the majority conference room, which is right off the rotunda.
Okay.
The meeting will be held in the majority conference room right off of the rotunda. And that's from 9 to 10. And again, that's public and it's an informational meeting. There's also going to be a link for people to watch it live through PA HouseNet or whatever that is. And we'll get that out there. And then at 12 o'clock is going to be the press event. And that's that joint press event I talked about with National Network for Youth, where they will be having a rally also in the afternoon, where they will be talking about 4 bills that specifically impact youth experiencing homelessness, and 2 that very much will also assist our students who are still in school and under the age of 18. So it's always good, like I said, to have a lot of people joining us. So the November 15th event is a bigger event than it's been, which is great, because to be able to talk in front of the Children and Youth Committee is phenomenal, because then we can just talk to all of those representatives and tell them concerns and what's going on, and have it more than just a press event.
Awesome. So yeah, if you're not doing anything on November 15th, please come out, show your support for our students who are experiencing homelessness. We will be there. So we look forward to meeting any of you. And again, Red Shirt Day, November 17th, be sure to spread that to others, encourage other people to wear red and post it, tag us, hashtag, and let's just keep doing our part in raising awareness and showing our support to our kiddos and our students who are experiencing homelessness. So with that being said, since I'd like to close out with something that's fun, even though, because I know this topic can sometimes be a bit sad and unfortunate, but it is a topic that needs to be discussed more often than not. So what kind of superpower would you two have? Which I'll answer as well. If you could have a superpower, what would you have? I'll go first. So I think if I could have a superpower, I think I would be invisible. I think.
Why?
That way people can't see me unless I want them to be, unless I want to be seen. That's the same way. That's the reason why I put on sunglasses sometimes. I feel like if I put on sunglasses, it kind of like makes me invisible. Like that little boy from Big Daddy, he would put the sunglasses on and Adam Sandler would pretend like, oh, Julian, where are you? So I feel like just being invisible and having like a cloak that just hides me away from people. I think that would, and not even people, just in general, if I want to get somewhere, but I didn't pay for a ticket or I don't have a ticket or I can't afford it, I could just sneak right in. So yeah, invisibility.
We have a really good, because me, I gotta bring it all back. We have a really good monologue about a student who picks invisibility as his superpower. So just shouting that out.
And that's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's on our YouTube page, correct?
It should.
Yes.
It's part of the monologue, and if it's not, it's part of the whole play, but I don't know if the individual clips are on there. So, but yes,
Yeah.
it is on. Mm-hmm.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Missy, what kind of superpower would you have?
To make people invisible.
You won. That was great.
I'd like an explanation on that one, Miss.
It's just, there's just times where people need to just
Disappear.
disappear.
All right. Well, I want to be invisible. She wants to make people invisible. Oh boy. That was a good one. I love it. And Sonia.
It's kind of how like Friday, since Friday, it's pretty much how it's been. So like to make people invisible.
That's okay. Hopefully I'm not one of them. But
No.
I can already be invisible if I want to.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Sonia.
Wow, mine's going to be boring comparatively. I want to fly.
Ooh.
Because there are just so many places to go to, and flying would just be easier than being in a car, and where I would want Missy's ability to make them invisible, but making them invisible doesn't necessarily take away their mass. So I could be driving and not see them and then causing all of these hurts that's not what I want to do.
You don't have to worry about going through an airport.
Yes, I wouldn't have to worry about going through security, which stresses me out like you would not believe. That's the only part of traveling in an airport that stresses me out, is going through security. So if I had the ability to fly, or to just kind of snap, like Bewitched, and just that was I Dream of Jeannie, but just have that ability to pop in where I want to pop in. The Harry Potter, I forget the word for Harry Potter, but that that word where you just pop in and out. You know, and I have friends and family all over the country, so that would just be so fun. And where our region is so big, it would just be nice to be able to have that ability. So maybe not just fly, maybe just popping in and out. Popping in and out. That's what I want.
Like
Popping,
appear.
yes, yes.
Appear and disappear.
Yes, yes. Because then I would also have the ability to be invisible when I don't want by
There
just
you go.
like,
So it seems like we all want to be invisible or make people invisible.
yeah, and it's funny because when you think about it, and again, this is just, you know, edit as you need, but we have our population already feels invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's something that they already feel, and sometimes they want to feel that intentionally because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want anyone to report them. They don't want the spotlight on them. Others feel invisible, and because they're invisible, they're not heard, and because they're not heard, their problems and concerns are not being addressed. And when I think about, like, I hear and feel what you're saying, Liz, about wanting to be invisible. I as an introvert just want to go into the shadows, like, you know, go away.
And again, only come out when you
right.
want.
And to Missy's point too, like, just I want to make these people invisible, but really I want these problems to go away for the moment, because sometimes it's just so overwhelming. Like, there are just too many people or problems in our face. That last week was a really bad week. I had a really hard week last week, and it was one of those that I had to really pull on my support that I have. But oh my gosh, if we had that ability to make people disappear, which meant that the problems could disappear and we could just triage it that way, that would be great. Or to make myself disappear. And it's and with power comes, and this isn't the fun question anymore, but with power comes the, you know, there's no magic without a price kind of thing. So yeah.
Wow.
I'm Debbie Downer. Boy, that was
I was just gonna say, Debbie Downer. Okay,
I
now
know that was deep and philosophical right there.
Okay, well, I don't know if I really want to be invisible anymore.
yeah.
No, I would want to be.
Yes, invisible and then fly. That's a good one though.
Yeah, I like the popping thing. I think.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the Harry Potter
Is it
word.
one of their spells?
It's the trans. Yeah, they. Oh my gosh.
It's not the Leviosa.
That's levitating.
Click and switch. Yeah, I have no idea which one that
You
is.
could be Tabitha from Bewitched and just.
That's yeah.
Oh, the wiggle the nose.
Wiggle the nose. That's what I'm saying. You could do that, or the genie, because I do have my hair in a ponytail a lot. But yeah, it just I think or being able to, in Harry Potter, they travel by flue. So they throw flue dust into chimneys and just walking through a chimney, or, you know, going from one flue to another. Mary Poppins by Umbrella. That'd be fun.
Oh,
I mean,
there you go. And Harry Potter also had an invisibility cloak.
and yes, he did. Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yes.
That's a good one.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang had some great powers as well. Just all of that. You just, oh, we're in the ocean. We need the boat. Oh, wait, we're going on land. Need the wheels. Now we need the wings so that we can fly and follow. And yeah. So there we go. We want it all. We want it all. That's really what it is. Why pick just one, Liz, when we just want it all? We want to be Captain Marvel.
I had to make it hard. I had to make it difficult.
And then I had to bring it all to teaching moments.
And then all to back down to I said, well, I want to get away from this sad topic. We go right back into it. Yep. But it's all right.
Well, and that's all about having the conversation, right?
Right, exactly, which is what I was just about to say. This is all having a conversation, and it's one that needs to be done more often than not.
And you can still laugh, and you can still have fun and go on with life. And sometimes some of our best conversations and best work comes out of a laughing, a meeting that we have just laughed our
right
off, and next thing you know, we have this great action plan. So
awesome. Well, if you ladies don't have any more to contribute to our conversation today, then I just want to say thank you so much for joining me in this wonderful conversation that we had. And Sonia, thank you for giving a background on Awareness Week and the Red Shirt Day. Red is also my favorite color, so I love that it's a Red Shirt Day. And Missy, again, I thank you for your insight in the development of the hashtag of Let's Have a Conversation. And again, I like to reiterate for everyone listening, Red Shirt Day, November 17th. Please wear red and share your contributions with us. And again, we aim to ensure that everyone's voice is heard. So hashtag I will be your voice. And we all invite you to join us again next month for another episode of Let's Have a Conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Peace out, yo. My name is Sonia Pizzi. I'm the Region 3 Coordinator for the Education for Children and Youth Experiencing Homelessness program. Heck yeah! Every year we have an awareness week for our students experiencing homelessness. This year is our 10-year anniversary. I would love for you all to show your support by wearing red on Friday, November 17th.
So come join us in celebrating the 10th anniversary of Awareness Week, where our goal is to increase awareness for the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. This federal educational law ensures that students experiencing homelessness have educational stability. Let's show that we care.
For more information about how you can help support our students experiencing homelessness, follow us on Facebook. Heck yeah!
So you might be asking, well, what do I do when I wear red on Friday, November 17th? Well, we're glad you asked. You have one of three options. You can either post it on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Twitter. Or better yet, you could post it on all three. And don't forget to hashtag one of these three options, or again, all three. Hashtag I will be your voice, Red Shirt Day 2023, or let's have a conversation. Heck yeah.
And remember, together we can make a difference.
Heck yeah, we can.